as you've probably seen in the short prologue, literally spoilers have just been added, and this should make for a very fun test. My test place has just been closed just as I make this quick video, so if my pilots are just wondering what's going on, I'm just quickly making a video. So I'm going to try and get this bird into the air. As you just saw, I've trimmed the plane, set the takeoff flaps. Now I'm just going to be taxiing down to the runway. So for those, the clients and etc. that are wondering what's left of the update, so I'm going to still add the reversers, tune up the engine so they just aren't a bit too overpowered, fine tune a tiny bit the flaps, and then reconnect most of the systems that have been semi-disabled, which at the moment is actually just a co-pilot system. Reconnect that because we've changed the engine system now, which is miles better than the first version, so it uses a bit of different values, so I'm going to reconnect that again. And then the update is going to see a certification that I will stream, I hope this week, and then release to the clients, and that should be A350 optimization pretty much done. And this version, from the pilots that have tested it and flown it, is let's say you know, you have a Bentley and you have a Volkswagen Beetle. This is the Bentley now. It's miles better than what it was before, and that's just primarily due to the yaw damper system and the auto trim, which has made the control modes like keyboard mode a lot more useful to fly again, and also just helped mouse mode as well, so it's a lot more easier to maintain a set pitch because of the fly-by-wire system. So yeah, it's really been fun to work on, and the additional actual surfaces have also made the impact because of the changes as well. So we're gonna get moving right now. I'm going to use keyboard mode for this. And she can't wait to take off. There we go. Gears up. Alrighty, so I guess I'm gonna show how the spoilers work now. Oops, that was the flaps. Alright, so if I press the end button, you can see my speed has stopped. This is flaps in flight mode. If I use the full extended flap, you can see my speed starts to drop. I'm gonna level out right now, and now I'm gonna just put down the speed because of full thrust we'll be able to overcome the flaps for now. And as you can see, our speed is really depleting. If I put the spoilers back, you'll see our speed climbs up, and flaps into flight mode now. That's flight mode, and that's full mode. Okay, so it will tell you exactly what it's doing there. Now of course you wouldn't want to keep flying with fully extended flaps for, spoilers for this long. It's also going to be probably more powerful than what you're seeing now. The setting I have is just to test. I just put a random one. It will probably be a lot more powerful than this by about 2 times. I think flight mode for the extended spoilers should drop your speed even at Toga. However, don't take my word for it, because I'll have to go and research that myself with the Aeson arrows just to fine tune that. But yeah, it now means that you can kill speed on land and approach a lot more easier than holding brakes. So what you'll find is B, which is brakes, will no longer work again in the air. That will be in the final update. It will no longer work in the air. As the only way for us to brake was usually always to Oops, why do I keep touching the flaps? There we go. So as you knew, the only way for us to brake was to actually use B, and that was incorrect, of course. It was till we got the flap spoilers. So now we have the spoilers. B will be disabled in air. So if you're used to using B in air to brake, you can't use that anymore because you actually have spoilers now. I'm going to show you, I hope I can show right now how this works on approach. And in a few of my videos, if you probably watched, you've seen me struggle to lose sometimes some speed. So this will allow me to just, you know, turn on the flaps, the spoilers, without having to hold B, and it, you know, reduces that wasting of your concentration, because you just leave the spoilers on till you're ready to take them off, and then you press. In the controls, this looks like this now. Of course, spoilers is the end key. All the other stuff I've shown before, the same in mouse mode, is the same there. So as you can see, the same as there. Nothing really different in terms of all the other controls. The white ones you see are of course controls that can be changed in the different modes. Everything else that's purple is just modes that you can't change at all. Okay, so those are your permanent modes. For anyone that has Mac, unfortunately there may not be compatibility with the Mac. I use Windows, and a lot of the pilots do use Windows, so unfortunately I've only been able to do that. I don't own a Mac. However, maybe there is, for you guys, somewhere online or something, ways to bypass this, either by using the on-screen keyboard, which I've recommended to some people, or maybe Mac will allow you to get a different keyboard to use with it. So anyway, I don't even know how far we are from the airport. I'm going to take control now. Taking control right now, and we're going to continue flying this current track we're going, and then we will try and line up for the runway. Specifically, of course, would love the eventual, when I start doing the extended autopilot. I can't wait for that, because I won't have to touch anything. If I want to, you know, say to the plane, go to the Aeria waypoint, and for anyone that's wondering what that is, at least on my airport, the Aeria waypoint, at the moment I've made it visible. It won't be that size when the extended AP starts, but if you can see a glowing neon block just in front, I'm gonna just quickly, this block here, that's the Aeria waypoint, and that is literally in line with the runway. And it's a VOR station, so when you set on the extended autopilot, okay, you want to fly to there, it will basically, the moment you fly to there, that's your start of your glide scope, and then you get IDS data to take you down and keep you center. You've already seen that in the video. So until you of course get to that position, you won't have any IDS support. So what it would be is you would use nav, the nav system of the plane, and you would set, you know, if you said you were flying from airport A and you wanted to fly to airport B, your SIDS and your stars, etc., the end point of your, I believe it is your star, but I may be wrong, the end point of your star is going to be the Aeria waypoint, because the moment you touch the Aeria waypoint, then you're in for the ILS, and it's pretty much home sweet home from there. So slowly approaching that waypoint. It's gonna drop my speed. Might need to tune it out just now. I'm gonna have to check what it has on the trim. 2.5, okay, it looks like 2.5 trim, it's trimmed. Me too. When I'm happy, of course, with the trim, or whatever. I would recommend whenever you're not making any pitch adjustments or whatever, um, make sure, of course, I would leave it, in my opinion, if you're using mouse mode, leave it in request mode so it can just keep tuning as you go. And then when you're going to make any pitch changes, just press your middle mouse button, and there you go, you've got control again, and the plane will feel a lot more, you know, manageable. If you feel like your controls are too heavy, as I showed in one of the videos, then it just shows your planes out of trim. That's the reason pilots trim, is to make sure that they don't have to constantly apply pressure onto the plane. So now I am going to put my flaps down to landing. This with full flaps, well, this is near full flaps, this is 30, it should start to eat some of my speed. I'm gonna put the gears down. I'm gonna lower my throttle. As you can see, my CG has changed there, so I'm gonna press the middle mouse button, wait for this to trim, so it's in, you know, it was 2.5 before, now it's 3.3, and then I'm going to release the trim button. Now my waypoint is there. Ideally I would fly to the waypoint, but I'm familiar with the airport now, so I won't need to do that. I'm going to move to my favorite camera mode, which is my gear cam. Now of course this is not an ideal approach. I would I'd ideally want to have been actually a lot more lower than this. As you can see, I'm kind of diving now to meet that. But of course, when you have this plane and you have your flights, you'll know exactly how your approach works, etc. This is clearly the difference between me and a proper, let's say, airline pilot. They will know what they're doing. I'm just a tester here. Okay, so we're going to try and lose some speed. We put the spoilers up. As you can see, the flight spoilers have a dramatic effect on the spoilers are up now. If I need it again, I will call it back, but I don't feel I do for now. I'm going to try and lose, I think the distance I am at, I'm very high. So I'm going to try and pretty much push it down right now for the landing. I'm going to try and maintain. At one point the CG is going to kick in again, so I need to be trimmed just ahead of that. I think I got there before it. There we go, yeah. Alrighty.
Minimum.
Don't want to go too slow. Perfect, I think it's perfect speed.
100 above.
No.
100.
Ooh, I might overrun the
50. 40.
the landing
30.
point by
20.
Here we go, come on, there we go, beautiful. And down she goes. I can put the, if I really want to, I can put the fully extended spoiler, what do you call it? Technically I shouldn't have even touched at that point the brakes. I should have let the, what do you call them, the spoilers at least dump most of the lift. The reverser would put more of the braking energy. You would start braking around like 75 knots, whilst the spoilers would retract, and the reversers would retract at 75 knots. There are some rare cases where the pilots just leave the reversers on and leave the spoilers up until it completely comes to a stop. There may be specific reasons for that, but generally they're supposed to turn the those type of things off by 75 knots and then start using the brakes. The reason they won't brake as they touch down is of course to just save wear on the brakes. There's no need to do that when you have the reversers and the spoilers to do most of that heavy work, and then the last few bits the brake can easily handle. So And now I'm gonna have to underpower the brakes now anyway, as the reversers will be the next thing that comes in, and then underpower the brakes and the update should be done. But that's the me showcasing spoilers, and the next video will possibly be the reversers, but everyone's seen the reversers, so the next video might be the reversers, or it might just be the final showcase. But I don't really think there's a lot to showcase anymore since I've showcased quite a bit. There's no major updates after this other than reconnections of some systems, and then retuning the autopilot that I have to retune. As a consequence of changing a few things, the autopilot is not anymore stable, but that's really easy. It's just redoing my tunes for that. So anyway, the video is done. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.